Our next speaker is Reza Amiri, a human rights activist. He will speak about arbitrary detention in Iran. Hello, thank you to everybody who's here. As they said, this is about arbitrary detention in Iran. In the Article 32 of the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran, we read, "No one can be arrested except for how the law says." And in the Article 575 of the Penal Code, we read that whenever judicial authorities or other authorities go against the law by issuing a arrest order for someone, they should be forever expelled from judicial authorities and deprived for 5 years from other government authorities. Now, what is arbitrary detention? It is not only illegal detention. Arbitrary arrest includes not only illegal arrest but unjust arrest. Arrests that are an abuse of judicial power. This includes in the concept of arbitrary detention, arbitrary arrest. What we've seen in the last few years and continues still, not only is against international norms, but the laws of the Islamic Republic itself are also disregarded. The obvious point was how Judge Mortazavi in the Kahrizak case was acquitted. It was clearly against Article 575 of the Penal Code. In the Iran after the Islamic Republic, the tradition ruling over the behavior of the Islamic Republic leaders has been the disregard for the law based on political calculations to prison your political opponents. Karoubi, Mousavi, and Rahnavard's detention shows it's an obvious case, obviously ordered personally by the Supreme Leader Khamenei. Arbitrary detention of people outside law and outside just process exists on all levels. Obviously, the Supreme Leader's word has an opportunity to rule over all laws, to rule out against all laws, but judicial authorities, police forces, revolutionary guards, plainclothes officers, Basij forces, even security officers of some departments, public departments, which are part of the executive branch of governments, when they want, when they will, based on personal decision, they can go on to arrest citizens, and they do. The lower rank authorities of Basij and police abuse their legal tools and to arrest people. Arresting of people without judicial authorities more than 24 hours, it's not allowed. But in many cases, it is done. Especially for political and human rights officers. Sometimes for months, you don't know the situation of an arrested person. After months, it's a phone call usually that the prisoner tells his family that yes, I'm alive or I'm in prison. Well, sometimes people are held with no reason and no explanation by judicial authorities. Prisoner is in prison, he doesn't even know why. These usually happen as part of killing times. They arrest the person, but because they don't know what crime he's convicted of, they can't convict him of a specific crime. I'm sorry. Yeah, as I was saying, it's a while before they can create a case against him. And the arrested person never knows why. Usually he knows the political reason, but mass arrests in different political gatherings shows how arbitrary the arrest of citizens are. And this happens for human rights activists, political activists especially. In the days leading to elections, different types of elections, and the days after it, we see these kind of arrests. They mainly mean to keep the balance of power in favor of the section that Supreme Leader favors. Mass arrest of journalists, closing down political authorities, closing down newspapers, closing down offices for the workers or students organizations or teachers organizations in the last few years have kept happening. They aim is to put down the cries against this and the continued domination of a group that are close to the Supreme Leader. They want to bring down the voice of dissent so they can continue ransacking of the people's resources. Arbitrary detention of the dissenters and anybody who doesn't believe in the Supreme Leader happens on all levels in the Islamic Republic. If you don't believe and practically commit to the rule of the Supreme Leader, you can't hold many positions. Not only high positions, but even lower government positions. Any resistance or opposition to this theory of the rule of the jurisprudent, especially if you're a government worker, can mean to expulsion and arrest after you're employed. And if you don't show what is called a practical commitment to the rule of the jurisprudence, you can go to prison at any point or be faced with a worse fate. Obviously, non-12er Shias are even more vulnerable when it comes to this. What was said is only part of what the ruling regime does in facing its opponents. When it comes to citizen rights, in other points, the standards are even lower. Judiciary, the Revolutionary Guards, and the Intelligence Ministry not only disregard all the international covenants, they openly actually sometimes say that they don't. But they even ignore their own laws of the Islamic Republic itself. It's unbelievable what the Iranian citizens go through. They live in an unpredictable situation when they engage in social activities. In the end, I want to talk about a few of the arbitrary detentions in the last few months. For instance, Omid Parhizgar, a civic and political prisoner, a 26-year-old, he was recently taken by the intelligence authorities of Marivan city while he was working in the farm. Or Asadullah Hadi, a political prisoner in Karaj's Rajai Shah prison, who on Saturday recently was taken to the Shohadai Tajrish prison. He was taken back to the Karaj's Rajai Shah prison. Or Milad Darwish, he on a peaceful gathering of teachers in front of the Majlis, without having committed any criminal act, he was arrested by security forces. Ali Shakuri Rad, the secretary of the Nations Unity Party of Islamic Iran and a previous MP, after a few hours after the first press conference of the party, was arrested. Mahmoud Beheshti Langrodi, a managing board member of the Teachers Trade Union in Iran, his house was attacked by security forces who arrested him. And recently we also saw Ismail Abdi, the Secretary General of the Teachers Trade Union, to be taken to the Evin prison where he is now. Thank you to Südwind for giving me the time.